Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you to Out of the Park Baseball 22. This is a pretty big year. We're getting a couple of expansion teams, which is very, very exciting. But more importantly, I believe this is the year. Let me take a quick look, actually. Mlb Playoff History. I believe it is the first year, 1961, or maybe 1962. Oh no, we're actually quite a ways away from that. That's fine. That's not till 1969. That's fine. But we do get new teams, and that means we need to submit our protection lists. I can only protect 15 players. We're not going to protect Mickey Mantle. Just kidding. Of course we are. Jackie Brandt, Minnie Mignoso, Jose, the Shermanator, Mike Garcia. I think we have to keep him. Tom Acker. There's just a lot of people here that I honestly don't care if anybody takes them. To be quite honest with you. I mean, I don't want to lose Willard Nixon. We'll keep him. Oh, he's already on there. Cool. I will go ahead and keep Hal Smith just so I have a quality backup catcher. And then honestly, there's a bunch of players here I don't really care that much about. I think we just kind of let them go. Like, it's sad, right? But there's not 15 players that I control that I have to worry about that are really worth keeping. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and just pick like the next 6 people just so that I have. No, I'm good with this. Submit the protection list. I know it's not finished, and I'm happy with that. So let us keep on keeping on. Yes, fine. Be that way. Game. Be that way. A trade proposal. You're offering me a reliever for literally anything. So the answer to that's going to be a big fat no. We got a Cy Young Award for Mr. Valdevilso and Minnie Mignoso. Very nice. We got the Reliever of the Year, which is fun. I don't think we've had that one before. Cool. Personnel, all looks great. You know what, Lloyd Wayner? I don't want you to leave. A Cy Young for Don Cardwell is pretty amazing. Tony Kubek and Jackie Brandt both walked away with Silver Sluggers, which is great. I wonder if we had any chance at an MVP. Probably not. This seems unfair that a player not from the LA Dodgers could win MVP, but I guess we have to share it with some people. Okay, Hall of Fame voting. I don't even talk about what we need yet, but we'll get there. I promise. A couple of big fat nopes to both of you. Dom DiMaggio is borderline. We'll come back. He might be worth it, but I'd have to give that a pretty long, hard thought. Pretty long, hard thought. Tony Lombardi deserves it. Even if he's not a first-time player, I'm just looking at everyone right now. Ken Raffenberger, no. Monty Stratton, yes. Wow, Harry the Hat isn't even close to being Hall of Fame worthy in this timeline. That's kind of disappointing. Not gonna lie, my friends, this is actually a pretty weak class, and I don't see a ton of people here that I'm just like, oh yes, I demand that I vote for them. It's just not that impressive, unfortunately. Like, I wouldn't be upset if Dom DiMaggio made it, in all honesty, but I'm not convinced that he deserves it. I think I just go with this. I don't really see anybody else here that I'm staring at and going, the Hall of Fame desperately needs this player. Yeah, Ken Keltner isn't really worthy in this timeline. I think the real life Ken Keltner is a borderline Hall of Famer, but in this game, not so much. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anybody else here, so I think we vote. Just 2 men in our ballot. That's gotta be a record for the lowest number in a long time. Okay. So what do we want, and when do we want it? Well, we want what we want now, but what we want is we want a high-quality center fielder. That may mean giving up Felipe Alou or Minnie Mignoso. And if that's the price I have to pay, it's the price I have to pay. Because Jackie Brandt cost us a 1.5 in the field. And he's not getting the balls, and he's probably making life harder on our pitchers, too. So despite the fact we're actually a really good team, I think we can get better, and I think the key to that is a new center fielder. In addition to that, I don't love our pitching staff's depth all of a sudden. We have some decent pitchers, but we have Jack Fisher, who I think lost quite a bit of stamina as a result of his injury that he had. If we look at his scouting profile, yeah, his stamina is cratered, and he's lost some heat off his fastball. That is very disappointing. Art Mahaffey, I can't really get excited about him. Bill Stafford's still good, as is Don Cardwell. So, yet another starting pitcher also seems like a wise move. Yeah, center field and starting pitcher are kind of the beginning and end of my needs list. So, we pick 15th. Oh, who are our... Oh, the Angels and the Senators. That's right. Those are our brand new expansion teams. So, welcome to both of you. I mean, it's got to be Carl Yastrzemski, right? Like, they can't take someone else with their first pick, can they? I mean, I guess Dean Chance would be fair. And he actually did play for the Angels, if memory serves. Let's see here. Nope, they took Dean Chance. Which means Carl Yastrzemski maybe goes to the Senators? He does. Very interesting. No, you're an even more center fielder than Jackie Brandt, so that's going to be a hard no. Well, let's see who's actually left. Alright. Hey, Lou Brock. Another really fast guy. Gotta catch them all. So, there is Bill Daly, relief mastermind. I'm kind of okay with our current bullpen. I don't really see a big drive to add him, but I've made worse decisions, I'm sure. I really want another starter if we can get one. Tony Cloninger might fill the bill. Bob Hendley is a baseball player. So is Bobby Bolin. Bobby Bolin is not a starter, not with that stamina. I wonder if... Okay, there is not any kind of secret pitcher. So, let's talk about Dom Clendenon. He is a Major League ready first baseman, which is a position I simply don't need. I don't need a player that can do that. Yeah. Here is the issue we run into right now. The best player left in this draft is Don Clendenon. It just is the answer to who I should draft. But he's already 25. And it's not like Minnie Mignoso is going anywhere unless I trade him for a center fielder. But even if I did that, then I have Felipe Alou who needs a spot. Which is a real pickle. My other alternative is taking Tony Cloninger, who is probably the best starting pitcher left in this draft so far. He's not perfect, but in a pinch, I trust him to be a starter more than I would trust, say, Jack Fisher at this point. And I can't protect anybody. So if I trade anyone, I can't protect them. Mac Jones does have the best power in the draft, or he could someday. But I wouldn't trust him to play center field at all. And I've got plenty of corner outfielders. I think I'm going to take Cloninger. I don't love it. And I really think passing on Don Clendenon is maybe going to hurt. But the fact is he doesn't help the team right now. Whereas Tony Cloninger might. So we're going to draft him. It's probably a mistake, but I've made bigger mistakes, I'm sure. Let's go and grab Bill Daly because no one else is going to take him. And then I don't really care at this point. It's all going to be pitchers of middling talent levels. Mike Rourke is not a bad catcher, but he's also really old for a baseball player. I'm going to take a chance on Jerry Zimmerman because he's a really, really good catcher, and that means if he just improves his offense by a little bit, he could be a valuable piece to our puzzle. Jay Hankins is a decent grab because he's okay defensively, if not brilliant. And I think I'm done. I don't really think I need to spend my time picking anyone else. It's going to be all about trades. If we're going to fill the first base gap, that's where we're going to have to go for it. So let's negotiate. And everyone gets their draft pick money. You get a draft pick. You get a draft pick. Everybody gets a draft pick. Okay. All done. And let us simulate up to the Rule 5. Oh, right. I definitely need to do this. Who's the best player available? Rocky Bridges is the best player available. That's pretty funny. Complete that draft. I'm going to hit no, just in case it gets stupid. Who did I lose? I think if I look at my transaction log, it'll tell me. No? No. Please stop talking. I think Russ Kemmerer is one of mine. No, he's not. Who here is a Dodger? Do they just take nobody from me? I think they took nobody. Oh, damn. Yeah, I saw a 25-man roster. They literally looked at my people on offer and said, no thank you. I kind of feel insulted. Just a little bit, but I kind of do. Wow, game. I mean, I don't blame them, but it still makes me a bit sad that I didn't have any chance of accomplishing it. That's an... I don't really care. I do care a little bit about Joe here, but it's not the end of my world. Matt Batts, ironically, not a very good hitter. Yeah, I'm not going to bother. Man, you guys are desperate. Just looting my farm system. The only one that I'm even annoyed at looting is Jim Small, and not by that much, because he's not very good. Anyway, so we had 2 gaps to fill before the draft started. We've semi-filled one of them, thanks to Tony Cloninger. I mean, ideally, I don't want him starting if I don't have to, because I've still got some depth at starting pitcher. Not a lot, but some. But that may be what ends up happening. I'm just not sure yet. But a center fielder is the most important thing that we need. Well, Bobby Thompson is a legit center fielder with pretty good power. but his overall offensive package isn't as strong as it might look. Is Bobby Thompson the piece we're missing? Would I be okay with punting on his punting a little bit on offense to settle for an okay center fielder? I mean, he's a much better left fielder, but he's certainly better than Jackie Brandt at center. I'm going to go to team needs, and we're going to get greedy. We're going to ask for a center fielder. I don't care about most of this. They do have to be a major leaguer. And I want them to be a superstar. Maybe good is fun. No superstar. I'm going to get greedy. And we're going to go for defensive wizard. And see what that gets for us. Okay. Ernie Lombardi made it. Nobody else got elected. I am not surprised. I am not surprised. Okay, are there no center fielders that are defensive wizards? Am I just being unrealistic? Or do people just not want to trade him? Let's do player search. And nope, that's not it. Player search. Like, yeah, okay. Just for shits and giggles. Just for the fun of it. No, okay. I had to try. I wouldn't have been able to live with myself if I hadn't tried. Where is the cool player search? Where you can, like, specify things by filter and everything. It's called Find a Player. Where is it? Game. Make a trade? No. There it is. Okay. So I would like to look at all center fielders. Search all the leagues. And I'd like his overall to be a bare minimum of 60. And his defense to be a bare minimum of 60. And let's see what this gets us. So only 3 center fielders fall into those categories. Willie Mays, Lee Walls, and Jim Pearsall. Okay, I'm not giving you Mickey Mantle for Jim Pearsall. That's not going to happen. Let me start by offering Felipe Alou. I'm not going to be able to do it. The thing is, I'm not deep enough to take someone like... Yeah, I'd never be able to make that because they're not going to give up Mickey Mantle. That's a non-starter. And they know it's a non-starter. Okay, this is a much more reasonable prospect. How's about Felipe Alou? That actually makes it harder to trade him. Okay. Well, I'm not going to give you Stafford or Cardwell. That's a hard no on that. And I'd throw in 10 grand. Yeah. Giving up one of my young starters just seems like a really stupid idea. What if I offered you Mike Garcia? No. Yeah, they literally want one of my two best starting pitchers are Mickey Mantle. That's all they'll settle for. And I don't think that's a good deal. I don't think it's worth torching my ability to pitch just for an admittedly pretty fantastic center fielder, but nonetheless, it's not a good fit, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and offer Felipe Alou as shopping him as a player. Because Alou is most likely going to be the person who finds himself without a roster spot. And he's also the most valuable of our options there. Okay. I gotta get at least 60 defense. I can't make the trade for anything less than 60 defense, or I'm actually hurting my team. It keeps coming back to Bobby Thompson, doesn't it? I want to see if there's anybody else who might be a good fit, but I could probably get Jim Bolger for cheaper, and he'd at least handle the defense part of it, but he also can't hit. I'd ideally like at least a little bit of competence in both areas. Art Heist is decent. No, that's not Big Red Machine Joe Morgan. It's just a Joe Morgan, I think. I mean, Art Heist is a nifty little player, and he's at least a good center fielder. But I might as well go for the fences and get Bobby Thompson, right? Like, yeah, he had Jim Bolger, the most amazing center fielder who's ever played the position, but the man can't hit at all. And I feel like somebody could contribute, at least theoretically, in both areas. Chuck Deering gets on base and plays good center field, but I can't say much for his offense. I do kind of like Jim Busby. I recognize that what I'm actually looking for is something I'm just not going to find, and I'm coming to grips with that slowly but surely. I'm not going to get an excellent defender who also happens to hit at a very high level. That player just doesn't exist. And it is what it is, and I have to accept that. Yeah, Richie Ashburn is gross. He doesn't hit well enough to be worthy. So it really comes down to a handful of players. Let's talk about Jim Busby. Jim Busby is an okay hitter with a pretty great glove. But it has been many years since he's even hit for league average. He's typically worse than league average by about 15 to 20%. For a great defensive player, maybe that's worth it, but I'm not convinced that it is worth it. I'm not convinced he's the best possible fit, but he is definitely a possible fit. That's option number one. Chuck Deering can get on base, and that's obviously a very good thing, but he really can't play the position. Or he can't hit, and that is a big issue. Jim Bolger. I also want to make the Phillies stronger. I'd like to trade with an American League team if I can manage it. But if I can't, then I can't. Or Bobby Thompson. Now, very important thing to consider with Mr. Bobby Thompson. I'd like to show you an important element of our game here. Right here. Adding Bobby Thompson would give us the second best power hitter on our club. And it would improve my center field defense. But would it improve it by enough? That is a question I can't answer. Throughout his career, he's been slightly below average in center field. I come back to Jim Busby. Is Jim Busby the answer? Busby's an okay hitter, he's younger, and he's a better center fielder. But he's very batting average dependent. If he's not hitting for a high average, he's not very productive with the bat. So that's not great. So this is a man who's hit 20 plus home runs or about that every year of his career, at least until last year. And that's only because it looks like he's either hurt or just had a bad season. His raw athleticism and his overall talent still leads me to believe he can probably handle center field a bit longer. If I drop Felipe Alou, can I offer you something less and get Bobby Thompson? I sure can. Done. That was an easy choice. I feel very strongly that that was a good move in terms of making the team better right now. So now I still have Felipe Alou. That's maybe the best part of that transaction, is I gave up nothing for Bobby Thompson and also capped my best trading piece. So what should I trade for now? A starting pitcher would definitely fill the bill. So let's see if we traded Felipe Alou, what kind of starting pitching might be acquirable. Oh, hi, Don Johnson. Nope. Fuck you, game. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna keep Felipe Alou. I'm not gonna trade him until I have to. I have the money. We're not hurting for talent. And trading him now is just not worth it. It just isn't. So we will see how we do with Bobby Thompson this season. Moving Jackie Brandt over to right field. And letting Felipe Alou either back up or just get some experience in some other areas. I think that's fine. I'll let some up to spring training. Do I feel great about that? Kinda. So Jack Fisher has reclaimed his velocity, which is very good news. He's actually gained velocity, which is pretty exciting. But I need to see that stamina get better. Or you're not going to be a starting pitcher. Bill Daly and Tony Cloninger are both going to get some spring training reps. Maybe. Like the 5-ass tape from South Park. Sometimes like one ass is too many. Oh, Ned. You had a chance. You had a chance to play a meaningful role on this club, and then you got hurt. Wood Nixon isn't healthy yet, so that's, you know, he might be ready for spring training, or for opening day, though. Okay. Dude, quit. It's just a fucking sore hammy. Like, deal with your shit, man. Okay, great. You love to see it. You love to see it. It's not very cash money of you. So, in what is quickly becoming one of the finest Dodgers traditions, Tony Cloninger, you have to be a starter. And so does Art Mahaffey. And I hate that so much, but I don't have another option. I don't have two other starters, to be perfectly honest with you, that I can trust to have any level of talent whatsoever. That is what we describe in the game as yikes. Now we have to rely on Bill Stafford, or not Bill Stafford, sorry, Jack Fisher. And that's equally troubling. I don't know if I can trade away Felipe Alou, but I'm really close to doing it. Real close. I have 14 pitchers. I need to get rid of 3 of them in order to have a quality roster. Claude Austin, back to the minors with you. Dick Tomanek, back to the minors with you. And Don Basent, I'm just going to go ahead and try to get you through waivers. You get claimed, you get claimed. Okay, 11 pitch orders. In addition to the 3 starters you see before you, we are adding in Tony Cloninger and Art Mahaffey. This is not a pennant-winning rotation by any stretch of the imagination, but it's the pennant, it's the rotation we have. So we're just going to kind of accept that. This is all fine. I'm not going to mess with any of this. So, Mr. Cloninger and Mr. Daly both make the opening day roster. Pardon me. Pardon me. Ray Jablonski, I'm just gonna wave you. Don't be absurd. And Lou Jackson gets demoted. So let's rebuild this lineup, right? Let's make it the lineup we want it to be. Okay, the rating of bats shall now commence. Number 1, Mickey Mantle. Bats 3rd. I have enough power from enough different sources that I don't feel obligated to make Minnie Mignoso bat 1st or bat 4th. Yeah, I'd rather have him bat leadoff. I know he's overqualified to be a leadoff hitter, but the man OBP 391 last season. If that's not a leadoff hitter, I don't know what is. So yeah, I've got to take the great leadoff man and have him bat leadoff. I mean, we could try Jose Valdevilso. Actually, maybe we'll do that. We will do that. We'll try him. Maury Wills is going to hit 2nd. And I'm not the biggest fan of batting him this high in the lineup. But if we want him to be disruptive, he's got to get plenty of chances. So we'll see how he does batting 2nd. Then Mignoso can bat cleanup. And Jackie Brandt can hit 5th. And that's a very potent center of the order. And then we have Bobby Thompson hitting 6th. The amazingly hitting Tony Kubek then gets hit 7th. And Sherm Lawler, no slouch by any stretch of the imagination, bats 8th. If I were a Major League Baseball player and I had to face a Dodgers lineup, I think I'd be really, really nervous. Just so nervous because it's so good from top to bottom. That's pretty scary. Getting some backup action. Hal Smith. Again, Sherm Lawler is in his late 30s. Mr. Smith, I'd like you to start once a week. I think you can do that. Felipe Alou. You're going to back up at first base and at the corners. And I'm also going to have you be our number 1 pinch hitter. You've also got a fair bit of speed, so I think you'd also make a good pinch runner. So we're going to do that. Jim Marshall is going to be a pinch hitter and a backup at first base. Dan Dahlbeck is going to back up at catcher. Billy Moran is going to be a backup center fielder and a pinch hitter. Where our pal The Coot is going to back up at short and third. With The Coot backing up at second and Moran backing up at short and third. I know Billy Moran's not a great player at those 2 positions, but I see no reason not to give him a chance to learn those positions and just not embarrass us. So this is good. This is fine. We're gonna copy, we're gonna copy, and we're gonna paste, and we're gonna paste. Since Minyoso is also over 30, and we want to get the most out of him too, once every week, Felipe Alou is going to start it first. It'll keep him fresh, it'll keep him ready, and it'll prevent us from having serious issues down the line. Ooh, Bill Stafford's gaining velocity and stuff. Very nice. Tony Kubek is becoming an even better baseball player. That's extremely exciting news. Claude, my dude, I love your raw arm strength. I love your raw arm strength. If you can put the tiniest fragment of control, like a little bit more, get me up to about 40, you could be a dark horse to be a major starter for us. All right, friends, comrades, nemesis, and besties, let us go ahead and throw some baseballs around. 1 to 2 weeks isn't enough to shut him down. We'll figure it out. Bill, I can't keep losing fucking starting pitching. So instead, you're going to cripple my #1 acquisition in the offseason. What the hell is wrong with you, game? What is it that I have done to you that has convinced you to just screw me over at every opportunity? I gotta get a new center fielder now. I can't play with the center field I have now. I'm going to offer up Felipe Alou again. Not because I want to trade him, but because I'm going to try to do what I did before. Yes, look at Jim Busby. No, you will not give me Jim Busby. That makes me sad. Yeah, this is okay, I guess. I'm going to see if I can get him for less, though. Oh, okay. I'm going to offer Pichet because I don't need yet another reliever. It's more important to get a center field upgrade. So we'll do that. And then I guess Jim Bronstad gets called up. You know what? Claude Austin gets called up. Because I need a very high quality emergency starter. And if one of the other starters has even the slightest hint of trouble, he's going to get the reps. And then you're going to fill in at center. Definitely Kubek and Lawler are hitting ahead of you, though, Bill Burden. And maybe Bobby Thompson will come back and hit the shot heard around the world. Although we're actually about 10 years late, I think it was in 1951. You fucking asshole, Cardwell. How in the hell do you go after that shit? Bruh. I swear, this game is just trying to do its little best to make sure I can never have nice things. I definitely need Mike Garcia back. So Garcia is going to be the 5th starter. Tony Cloninger is just not pitching very well. I think demoting him to emergency starter is going to help. No big changes there. Oh, poor Harry Hannebrink. So, what the fuck, Mickey Mantle? What has happened to you? Like, okay, 114 at bats. Everyone's entitled to have a bad year. Yada yada yada. 2 fucking 13. Really? Most of the offense is actually off to a pretty decent start, other than Mickey Mantle. I think you'll get your stuff straightened out too. This is very meh. And I would like to see it be less meh over the month of May, please. I got Wally Barnett back. That's nice. I guess he doesn't have to be in the 40-man roster. I can just cut him. Later, dude. Next month. Okay, rotation is getting stronger. Let us send it down. Let's send down Jack Fisher, because I think he is more valuable trying to build the stamina back up than he is trying to start in the major leagues. Nope, then Willard Nixon is going to get fucking injured again. Man, I try not to be quite so salty this early on in the season, but it really seems like the game has it out for me. It really seems that way. Yeah, I guess we can keep trying Jack Fisher. He's not that bad. Like, as long as I'm not going to get fired, I kind of like the idea of, like, a mini tank this season to try to get a really great player next year. I don't know. Ooh, Cloninger's movement improved quite a bit. That's actually the one thing I was most concerned about. So if that's the case, you're back in the starting rotation, and you're going to be my emergency starter. And we'll see how that goes for us. That's better, Mickey Mantle. That's a lot better. Valdevilso, though, you're becoming an issue if you're going to be only getting on base at a 333 clip. I don't love that, my dude. I don't love that. Is your BABIP, like, in the toilet? Yeah, your BABIP is really bad, about 40 points below career average. I'm going to trust in you and hope that you put it together and step forward a bit. But it's good to see Mickey Mantle getting closer to the Mick we know and love. Jackie Brandt has become like an above average right fielder, which is just, it's amazing. Okay, Bobby Thompson is eligible to come back. And Bill Verdon certainly hasn't done anything that exciting. So I'm going to give him a chance to come back to us, Mr. Thompson here. And let Verdon be the backup at center field. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to copy that. Sorry, wait a minute. Isn't it Sherm Lawler? Yeah, Sherm Lawler's awful. He's going to be batting 8th. Tony Kubek's not hitting as well as he ought to be either, which is somewhat disappointing. Maybe we're talking to slow starts, though. Maybe this will all sort itself out, and we'll laugh about this at the end of the season. Alright, friends, comrades, pals, I'd like to bring you back. I'm fine with bringing him back as a bench coach. I think he does a pretty good job, and it seems like he is settling in nicely. I think the players like him. The pitchers don't love him. But no one, like, very people outright hate him. So we will bring him back for a new contract. Third base coach, Mr. Sam West. You're amazing. You're incredible. I'd like you to remain our third base coach, please. Extensions for everybody else. Except for Bill Bishop, who seems kind of grumpy. You can come back. I like you. I like you well enough. Ooh, very nice. So, who has earned spots in the All-Star game? Wow, really? Jackie Brandt and Tony Kubek and no one else? And Fred Green. Yikes. Let's send Jack Fisher back to the minors and activate Ned Garver. I think he's an even better choice in the emergency starter long relief role. Oh dear, Art Mahaffey is awful. Hey Ned, you're a starter again. Yeah, you're just like flat out terrible. Hey Jack, you're back. He's probably like, God damn it. I was really hoping to go to the minors, go to Stockton, California for a while. Not to be. Whatever, Maury Wills. I don't even care anymore. So he does. So he does. Yeah, I'm just gonna use Nixon in the rotation over Garver. Garver's just not that good. He's way better as a reliever. I know it seems like I'm not really trying to trade to improve the teams because I'm not. This is just a lost season. I have accepted that. Maybe with poor grace, but I have accepted it. And, yeah, Claude Osteen, welcome back to the major leagues. That should not going to do his stamina any favors. Maury Wills is getting better. That's interesting. Very nice, Jerry Zimmerman. Very nice. Yeah, this is just kind of a bleh season. Hey, Mickey Mantle's heating up. That's always great news. There we go. We finish. Look, this season finishing only 6 games out of first place is like that's just utterly nuts, isn't it? Like the sheer thought for even 1/10 of 1 second. Wait, why was that? Oh, just because I got shut out. Okay. Like, consider how bad we were at the midpoint of the season, and we finished 85 and 69. Nice. That is utterly nuts. That is utterly, utterly nuts that we achieved that level of success. Very fair play. Ooh, we had my AAA hitting coach retired. I meant to click personnel. My apologies, game. Bud, you're a real good hitting coach. How about we promote you? Really? If that's the case, I think I'll hire a new hitting coach rather than... Yeah, hey Frankie boy, how'd you like to be my AAA hitting coach? You'd love it, right? Of course you would. Who wouldn't love to be the hitting coach of the AAA Stockton Ghosts? Excellent. Good job, Yonkers Nuts. The manager of the AA team is retiring. He did just win the World Series, so fair play to him. Hey, Lloyd Wayner, how about being promoted to AA manager? You like that, eh? How about Bill Bishop being promoted to Single A? Excellent. And then let us gain a premier. Joe DiMaggio would be a pretty funny choice, but he looks like he's not a very good hitting coach or a very good overall coach. How about Jimmy O'Connell? That's fine. The Milwaukee Braves won the World Series. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to them. And we lost our AA pitching coach as well. Anyway. Ray Thomas is a decent, like, overall coach, but I don't know that he's a great pitching coach. Let's get ourselves some Sam Daly in our AA thing. So, this was a season to forget in a lot of ways. Yes, we won 85 and 69, better than we'd finished the past two seasons. Past three, in fact. But it's just not good enough, quite frankly. It isn't. And until we can push that extra step, like, I doubt we're going to get fired. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about overall how things are looking for the team as a whole. So let's quickly explore how our hitters and then how our pitchers did, and then we'll conclude today's episode. It looks like there's some kind of serious injury that happened to Mickey Mantle that has sapped some of his power. Because he's not hitting 40 homers a year anymore. He's hitting 27 homers a year. He is still an excellent, excellent, excellent player. He's the best player on the team. But he's just doesn't seem to be quite the same anymore. Not since that injury he had in 1959. I mean, he's basically gone from a baseball god to an all-star. So that's not like, oh god, Mickey Mantle sucks, let's get rid of this jackass. But it is disappointing to see him dip a bit. Jackie Brandt has really taken to right field. He was a more complete hitter than he's been in a long time. Doing everything very, very well. And, oh, by the way, playing a pretty fair right field. Shifting to right was definitely an important decision that we made this season. Minnie Mignoso just continues to rake and rake and rake. Taking him out of the leadoff spot made him lead the league in ribbies, which is pretty funny to me. Um, is this version of Minnie Minoso a Hall of Famer? I'm not quite sure, but he definitely looks like he could be. Tony Kubek had a disappointing season in a lot of ways, but was still an excellent overall player. If this is Tony Kubek's floor, I'm okay with that. He's got really great doubles power, and he's a very good hitter for contact. I'll list him hit above 300, of course, but I am not going to weep. Do not weep for me. I am already dead. No. But maybe. Yeah, I probably need to put some more money into scouting, maybe. I'll think about it later. Back to the drawing board here. Jose Valdevilso probably had the worst year of his career. And I'm not a fan of when he chooses to have it. But this is a man who consistently had a 370 plus on base percentage, and he just couldn't manage it this year. And that's a real shame, because as your leadoff hitter goes, the rest of the team goes. And so I'm hoping that maybe we'll get a bit of an improvement next season. Maybe. Maury Wills, if he's hitting over 300, he's a productive member of your team. If he isn't, he's not. This was the good Maury Wills. This was the guy that we wanted to acquire, and that can really cause some issues. I hate how bad he is at stealing bases. His percentage ought to be higher, but I'm not going to quibble with that too much. The Shermanator is not the man he used to be. And we'll just leave it at that. There's not really too much to say other than that. His glove is still there, so that's a good thing, but I don't know how much I trust him. Bobby Thompson was pretty great when we had him, so I think he's at least earned a chance to run it back and to play another season as our center fielder and see what that manages for us. Our bench ranged from pretty good to meh. But no one was no one was just dog shit terrible, which is good to see. It was really our pitching that fell short this season. Bill Stafford had an excellent second season. He's a good one. Fred Green will probably win reliever of the year again just because he was out of his mind with raw talent. Don Cardwell took a step back. And his single biggest issue was giving up home runs. And that is a bit troubling to me. Now, you might say to me, Avi, isn't it possible that the real Don Cardwell is the 1959 version? And I'd say that's fine. But he just got hit a little bit too much this season. His BABIP was quite a bit higher than 1960. Again, I'm thinking 1960 is the outlier, but nonetheless. We can't get rid of him, obviously. Tony Cloninger was okay. I dig the strikeout to walk ratio. I just want to see it expand a bit more, and I definitely want to see those home runs come down. Willard Nixon was gross. The man just walks too many people now. Claude Austin has probably earned an opportunity to start for the Dodgers next season. He's dramatically improved his overall ability to throw pitches consistently. And I think he deserves a chance to pitch for the real life Dodgers the way he did for the others. Mike Garcia was a complete non-factor. And that's our biggest issue. It's not just the injuries that we suffered, although that's certainly a big part of it. It's that it exposed our utter lack of depth. Utter lack of depth. And I'm not really sure where we find new starters to make our team better. More is the pity. Because there is an awfully big chance, under the right circumstance, we're having another expansion draft? Are you joking? Oh no, we're going to have the New York Mets, aren't we? Yeah, the Colt 45s and the New York Mets. Wild. Okay. Yeah, we had a real downturn for pretty much all of our pitchers, and that does make me sad. It makes me very sad indeed. It is what it is, my friends. But until next time, this has been Evgardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.